My 31 male, girlfriend, 31 female, and I will be celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the day we met and had our first date on Monday. I am divorced. I was with my ex-wife, 31 female, for 10 years, dated for 2 and married for 8, and my divorce was finalized 2 years ago, a year before I met my girlfriend. I filed for divorce because my ex-wife had cheated with someone she worked with, 30s male. My girlfriend, 31 female, is also divorced. She was also with her ex-husband, 32 male, for 10 years, dated for 3 and married for 7, and her divorce was also finalized the year before we met. My girlfriend filed for divorce because her ex-husband cheated with my wife's younger sister, 27 female, and her sister got pregnant. When it came out that this happened, my girlfriend's parents, 50s, male and female, and the rest of her family supported her sister and told my girlfriend she was overreacting. I've seen copies of the court transcript from her divorce, so I know my girlfriend is not lying. They threw her sister a baby shower and were upset that my girlfriend didn't attend, and they chipped in to pay for her husband's divorce lawyer. Her sister also moved in with her ex-husband after my girlfriend moved out of the house and had to buy her out of her half as part of the divorce settlement. Her mom told her they had edited her out of all the family pictures and ripped up the rest. My girlfriend cut contact and hasn't seen, spoken, or had contact with any person from either side of her family since she got divorced a year ago. My girlfriend has moved on. She moved across the state, has a new house, a new job, and new friends, and she was adopted by her mentor from in the military reserves, so she could be legally severed from her parents. I have a great relationship with my family, and they all supported me through my divorce. I can't imagine how it must have felt to not have family support during that time. They didn't even want her to divorce him, and said the sister could just live in their basement, and my girlfriend had to live in a hotel for a year when she filed and moved out, because no one would take her in. Over the year we have been together, my girlfriend has told me the story, but I haven't pushed her because it's so painful, obviously. She has her mentor, her friends from the military, and her new friends, but I get that it's not completely the same. My parents, 61 male, 56 female, have met my girlfriend once now, and soon my brothers, 33, 32 male, and the rest of my family will be meeting her. With my girlfriend's permission, I have shared the gist of her story, not the details, with my parents and brothers. My parents loved her, and I know my family wants her to feel as loved and welcome as possible. I want the same thing for her, and I want to support her as much as I can. I love her, but I'm a bit lacking emotionally and feeling challenged, and I'm not always the best with showing emotions and talking about stuff. It probably seems obvious to other people, but I am unsure. My questions are: 1. What are some ways I can be supportive of my girlfriend as she keeps building her new life without her family and gets over the divorce? 2. What are things for me not to do? 3. My mom and dad and family want to make her feel welcome in the family, but I have no clue how they can without doing it wrong. Are you going to marry her? If not, if you aren't sure yet, don't bring her into the family. Imagine how horrible it will be for her when you break up and she has to lose another family. If you are going to marry her, propose and then bring her in as you would anyone else, with kindness and consideration. Don't share more with them than she's comfortable with, and make sure she doesn't have to do sharing unless she really wants to. It's pretty simple, really, because it sounds like you and your family are really nice people who will treat your girlfriend with dignity and respect. That's some heavy crap to go through. Just reiterate the fact that you'll always be there for her, and that you love and care about her. My advice is not to try to push the family thing into her too hard. Married for 1-ish year, dating for 4-ish years, sisters for about 19-ish years. Alright, before I get into this, I'll discuss the age gap between my husband and I, as I know it will be discussed. Though I know as a rule, older men dating younger women is not a good thing. I think we're one of the exceptions. We met in college when I was 18 and he was 29. He had a late start in life as he was the youngest child in the home when his mother got sick and was asked to stay behind to take care of her. This was a cultural expectation. So while his siblings went on to college, he was taking care of his Alzheimer's-ridden mother. She died when he was 25, and it was an awful emotional burden that took him a while to bounce back from. We met in a volunteer group who spent time in nursing homes. I also took care of my grandmother the last year of high school to the best of my capabilities, while she slowly declined too. So we had that in common. We had been friends for 2 years, and at age 20 for me, we broached dating each other. He spoke to my family about dating me, and all was well. So I thought. We moved in together during my final 2 years of college, and we're honestly amazing roommates. We contribute fairly, not just financially, but emotionally and physically too. Last year, we broached the topic of getting married, and after some premarital counseling, went for it. We had a wedding, invited family, the whole thing. My dad and stepmom and siblings on that side threatened to not come because they did not agree with our age gap and thought that I was only dating this guy for fun, not for serious. My mom called him and told him he was being an idiot and nothing would separate us more than him not going. So they showed up. Here's my present issue. My sister, well, stepsister, but we consider each other sisters, stayed over this last week as she had a job interview in the city that my husband and I live in. She was a little cold to my husband, but oh well, we thought. She didn't really know him, and maybe it cramped our sister-sister style. We tried our best, though, and I did my best to have just her and me time, so overall we didn't feel like it was a terrible time. She left Friday, and on Saturday I received a weird phone call from my father, telling me that my husband had apparently been drunk Wednesday night while I was asleep, went to talk to my sister in the guest part of our home, and began to profusely hit on her, to the point of making her feel uncomfortable for her safety. The immediate red flag was that my husband is sober 16 years, and if he was going to break that, it would be bigger, if that makes sense. My dad's side also does not know he is sober. Not wanting to completely discount it, I asked why she didn't say anything or something. Those are awful feelings to be dealing with, and I would have found her better accommodations, like a hotel or something. My father said that she didn't want to hurt my feelings by telling me, but the weight of it was too much. She also has some recorded proof that my husband hit on her. I asked if I could hear it or it be sent to me, as at this point I was doubting my husband a little, and they wouldn't send it to me. They couldn't trust me to send a copy of a recording to listen to. What? Okay, so that's fishy beyond belief, right? Now my dad and that side of the family have barred me from seeing them or going to family events unless I leave my husband. My sister's been posting all over Facebook about being part of Me Too, that blood is thicker than water, and how she can't even be safe with her sister. I don't know what to do. I'm not leaving my husband without proof, especially without withholding their being of it. I asked my husband what happened that night, and he told me that he came home from shift work, saw my sister watching TV, said, "Hey, how are you?" asked what she was watching, then went to our room and went to bed. I remember waking up to him coming to bed and nothing seemed off. What the duck do I do here? What a bizarre, awful situation. I would be stuck if I were you as well, OP. I agree that if your sister is claiming to have recorded proof, which is a strange thing to claim if this was an isolated random drunk incident, that you should get to hear it. If she is lying about having recorded proof, then it seems likely that the rest of the incident was a lie as well. I would contact your father again and tell him that you are absolutely willing to consider leaving your husband, lie, but you'd like to hear the tape. See if you can get them to play it for you. A. Considering that this is 2017, I doubt that she recorded anything on an analog format. So she either used her phone or another digital recording device. So she can send you the file via email or using websites like WeTransfer. There's no reason for her not to do this. B. Something may have happened, but there's a detail that struck me. They claim he was drunk that day, but he came to bed to you. If he were drunk, he would have strong alcohol breath, and I'd be very surprised that you didn't notice it. After all, you remember him joining you in bed. In a sense, it's not only that it goes against his sober pledge, but more importantly, that it contradicts your own experience that day. I remember waking up to him coming to bed and nothing seemed off. So you have clear reasons not to believe their story. They have to send you their recording. Otherwise, they are lying. My 16 male, stepmother, 47 female, and father, 47 male, ran a small shop in our neighborhood that has recently been doing very badly, for a number of reasons I won't get into. Because of this, they no longer have the money for me to stay with them and support me. I'm supposed to live with my sister, 26 female, who is married, 29 male, and has 2 kids, 7 female and 4 male. I've never liked my sister, and she never liked me, so I'm pretty sure my parents made a deal with her or something to take me in. She's extremely egotistic and constantly insults me and makes snide comments about my height, appearance, social skills, etc., etc. Usually I just pretend she doesn't exist every time we have family reunions, and it's never really a problem. It's just a mutual thing that we hate each other and don't want anything to do with each other. My half-brother, 22 male, my bio mother and her husband, and I have a good relationship. He was far more of an older sibling than my sister was. I visit him often and we're generally quite close. Once he heard about everything, he offered to have me stay with him. So, for background information, I have a scholarship exam coming up, and I'd really like to get it, so I've been studying non-stop each day. If I were to stay with my sister, it would definitely affect my studying plan. 2 kids, her husband and her are somehow always rearranging the house, and they're really big on dogs that bark a lot. So I was relieved to hear that my half-brother would be willing to let me stay at his place. I thought my parents would be really happy too, but they seemed really against it because they think he's a bad influence. He's an artist and very flamboyant, and I'm being ungrateful by playing favorites. They're Asian too, so they're very big on the whole blood runs thicker than water thing. So they firmly want me to go with my sister. My sister is also mad because she says she's already being generous by letting me stay at her place, and not wanting to stay with her shows that I'm taking advantage of her kindness. I can see how it may seem ungrateful that I choose someone over my sister, but I don't see what all the fuss is about. Everyone says that I'm in the wrong for being selfish, but honestly, I don't see how that's the case. Am I the a-hole? Edit. Sorry for not clarifying my family tree more clearly. My half-brother and I share the same bio mom, and my sister and I share the same bio mom and dad. As for how I'm younger than my half-brother, there was a period in time where my bio mom and dad got back together, but then split up again. Currently, my bio mom has another husband who's my half-brother's bio dad, that she dated and married after my mom and dad divorced. Then they divorced, and my mom got back together with my bio dad. Then another divorce, and my half-brother's dad and bio mom got back together. Sorry, everything's kind of confusing. It's failed marriage paradise here. I think they may have offered you up as a free babysitter, not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. With respect, it's your parents' job to raise you. Life happens, and they can't honor their responsibilities. They don't, however, get to tell you you can't find your own way of taking care of yourself, via your brother, for an arbitrary reason. It's hard enough on you to deal with the trauma of your parents' financial situation. You don't need the added trauma of being forced into a situation that you know will cause you more trauma. Your sister shouldn't throw her generosity in your face either. That's not what true generosity is. I've been with my husband for 6 years and married for 3. We had our son in June of 2020, and things couldn't have been better. For context, my husband is kind of the black sheep of his family. He's the only redhead in a family of brown-haired people. He looks exactly like his family, though. He told me when he first started dating that he would always get mailman comments growing up, as the only redhead in his family. He has 3 sisters and 1 brother. When my son came out with brown hair and dimples like my husband's family, I never thought it would cause so much chaos. When we posted pictures of our son and when we brought him around family and friends for the first time, a lot of people said that he looks exactly like my husband's father and brother because of the brown hair and dimples. My husband doesn't have dimples, but they do. I didn't think the comments would affect him so much. He got upset and said he doesn't see anything of himself in our son, and instead sees his brother and father. I myself have blonde hair and blue eyes. My husband has red hair and hazel eyes, and our son has brown hair and blue eyes. I told him that our son looks exactly like his family, so why is that a problem? Besides, in my eyes, he doesn't look like me or my family. My husband says that he doesn't like the fact that people have made so many jokes about his own paternity his entire life, and now they're saying our son looks like his family, and it makes him look like a dummy. He got upset when I told him I don't understand what he even means. Because in my mind, you're basically insinuating you believe you're not your father's son. So since our son looks like your family, he can't be yours. I told him that, and he kind of went silent, and it confirmed my thoughts. He thinks I cheated on him with his own father or brother? Mind you, his brother, I've known since he was 16 and is a baby in my eyes. And his father is definitely not my type, physically. I told my husband he needs to get a DNA test for himself instead of our son, since it's his own insecurities he's pushing onto our kid. He's only doing this because our son is being compared to the males in his family, and the paternity comments he got when he was younger are obviously affecting him. He says that I'm overreacting and won't bring up the topic, but will eventually bring it up after a few days of not speaking about how our son looks like his family and not him. What should I do? You're right that this is his own insecurity. He needs to not bring it up again, or he may need to see a therapist to work through his thoughts. The ultimate issue is probably his crappy family, though, and the dynamics he has with them. Fun fact, both parents need to carry the ginger gene for them to have a ginger child. If you don't have it, then you guys won't have ginger kids.